So our next presentation is Geospatial and Federal Report 2025, being presented by Jaymes Cloninger of Motive. Jaymes is a visionary leader and the CEO of Motive Corporation, where he's been at the helm since April of 2016. With an impressive career spanning over 2 decades, Jaymes has cultivated a reputation for fostering innovation, empathy, and trust within dynamic global teams. Jaymes has successfully led projects for a diverse clientele, including multinational corporations, Fortune 50 companies, startups, nonprofits, and government agencies across various sectors. And for FedGeoDay, Jaymes and the Motive team has supported FedGeoDay. The very bio and introduction I'm reading off the website, ironically, was supported and built by Jaymes and the Motive team. So thanks for your support for FedGeoDay, Jaymes, and welcome to the stage.
All right, hi everybody. This presentation comes from, talking to leaders across federal government agencies and realizing that there's some things that everybody kind of shares, and then there are other things that are a little bit different. So I thought this was worth spending a little bit of time, and this is the first annual Geospatial and Federal Report, but I intend to keep doing it every year and reporting it at FedGeoDay so that we can look across, multiple years and be able to compare. When we first started talking about this, I don't think we knew what the zeitgeist in the federal government was going to be like when we were actually doing the survey. So it is a point in time. So the process, let me go ahead and go to the next question. Does this work? Yes. The process was, I was trying to get in contact with as many GIOs and CIOs of federal agencies as I could without being too intrusive. So I used my own kind of contacts list plus the list of steering committee members and alternates for the FGDC steering committee. And I sent it to all those people, which ended up being 34 people. And then we also sent it through the OpenStreetMap newsletter and asked anybody that fits that criteria to fill it out. And we had 11 respondents out of 34 known that I contacted, and we really didn't have any respondents from the OpenStreetMap newsletter. So people must have read it and said, oh, that doesn't fit me. In the future, I do intend to try to do a better effort because I heard from some people that they weren't able to access the survey through the browser, and so we'll have to figure out that in the next years. But I'm just going to go through the questions and answers, and they're kind of fun. So the first one here, over the last 5 years, how has the role of geospatial technology in your agency changed? Expanded. There's no agency has contracted, so I guess that's a good news. And nobody's staying the same. Some of these are fun. Some of these are meant to be a little bit more fun. So this was the first kind of fun one. What's your go-to reaction when you see a really bad map? And we've got fix it and cringe. Luckily, nobody's ignoring or laughing at those other things. So this one was kind of open. So which of the following trends will have the most impact on federal agencies in the next 3 to 5 years? I guess not surprisingly, AI was the first. This was, you could enter your own field here. So these are all kind of from the just write in. AI, cloud, and then open data initiatives. Well, I went the wrong way. Oops. What's your go-to reaction when you see a really bad map? Oh, I think that's the next one. There we go. How is geospatial expertise structured within your agency? So almost all of them are hybrid, meaning some centralized, some distributed. And nothing, we've got a few respondents that were centralized in a single department and we have no responses for distributed across multiple departments. Thought that was an interesting result. Then the next couple questions are about talent. So what's the biggest challenge in attracting and retaining geospatial talent? Biggest one is budget. Any surprises there? The next one was getting GIS positions on the org chart. It's kind of similar, justifying the position at the bottom. So I think that goes to a recognition that, maybe some of the other departments or capabilities or activities don't see the benefit or don't understand exactly what this is. I think my slide got messed up on that one because this question was supposed to be about how modern is your geospatial infrastructure, and it's right in the middle, not very modern, not very retro. And then which of the following are barriers to modernizing your geospatial infrastructure? And the big one was legacy system dependencies. And then some secondary budget limitations, no surprise there, security and compliance, and then a lack of experienced support. These sound like themes that sound familiar to you all? All right. As I'm going through these, also think about if there are questions you'd like asked, because I'd like to keep most of the same questions and ask them year on year, but we can introduce some new questions. These were the first year's questions. How does your agency manage geospatial data interoperability? So this one, prevailing answer was limited integration, mostly siloed. I was disappointed to see that, but maybe not surprised. And then partially integrated with some gaps, fully integrated, nobody, and no integration, nobody. Here's an easy one. Everybody had the same answer, so that's pretty overwhelming. Which area of geospatial governance needs the most improvement? Everybody said data sharing. I guess no surprises from the audience. And then, does your agency have a formal geospatial data governance framework? I think we had 2 responses that said yes, and the others were all no. And then this goes to that earlier question of, getting GIS on the org chart or explaining what we do. So how often do you have to explain what GIS is to someone at work? The biggest answer was right there in the middle. This was like sometimes. Luckily, we got a couple almost nevers, but I think the average was somewhere around 6, so a lot of the time. And then, what federal policies or mandates have most influenced your agency's geospatial strategy? And these are all just write-in answers. So we have the hiring freeze, of course. Yeah, you can look through these. Honestly, not sure how to answer this one. I like this one. We don't really have a strategy. And then how adequate is current federal funding for geospatial programs in your agency? Nobody said very adequate. I think this reflects that other question. But the majority were right in the middle, saying, somewhat adequate. How does your agency prioritize geospatial spending? Workforce development, number 1. I was surprised by that, actually. The second one is data acquisition, then infrastructure and modernization, and so on. In this year, I had other as a category, but it didn't require somebody to fill it in, and so nobody ever filled in the other, but I got a lot of others. So improvements for next time. Has your agency explored cost sharing or interagency collaboration to sustain geospatial programs? I think this was 1 or 2 respondents saying yes, the rest said no. And then we've got a couple fun ones to end here. So if your agency's geospatial program had a theme song, what would it be? Survivor. Wow. And we had Under Pressure from Queen, a couple there, but we didn't have any We Will Rock Yous. So that's a challenge to next year. How well does your agency engage with external partners for geospatial collaboration? Surprisingly, I think to me, most of them were in the middle here, so there was some collaboration. And then which partnerships have been most valuable? And those were private industry partnerships, and that was tied with state and local and a few other federal government partnerships. No academic partnerships, which I thought was a little bit surprising. And then this one was equally distributed across the whole thing. How important is open source geospatial software in your agency's operations? This is like I think there were 10-point scale, and it was like 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and ties across the board. And then another one where it was just a free-form write-in. So how can federal agencies better collaborate with industry, academia, and other partners to advance geospatial innovation? First one, I think there was 2 very similar to this. Let us actually work with them. There's definitely some walls preventing collaboration, depending on where you work. I'll leave these up. And then the last one, which fictional character best represents your role in the organization? The big winner was MacGyver. So I guess that indicates that geospatial leaders are making things with Band-Aids and lighters and chewing gum. I hope you've enjoyed these. I think they'll get better with time as we start to compare this year's results and next year's. For example, I really invite you to, ask other questions that we can put in here and figure out ways to get more geospatial leaders in the government involved in answering the questions. The intent is to keep this 100% anonymous. Just have some feedback that we can share with amongst each other. And I'd like to keep doing this. And last thing is I'm gonna publish this in a report, and it'll be available on the FedGeoDay website, and I'll send it out to all the participants. So there you go. Thanks, everybody.